Hey, what's up? Welcome to the No Cap Show. My name is Phillip,
I'm Kris.
and we're going to be reacting to females at work who think they have it harder than men.
Let's go. Welcome to the No Cap Show. Yeah, you already know. Phillip and Kris, commentary on the go. From the highs to the lows, every subject we expose.
Best meant for men. In or out in 3, 2, 1.
They should all be in.
Yeah, they should all be in. See, like, how can you
exactly.
How can you disagree with this?
Okay. Which one of those women wants to go work construction?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Which one of those women wants to go work in a factory for 12 hours?
obviously none because they're out. I mean, dude.
But they're confident they could do it
Yeah.
and not struggle.
The semantics of the question, are there many jobs that are meant for men that women can do? Absolutely. But I do think there are many jobs that where you're seeing like 80, 90% plus that are men that were meant for men. Since we were talking about combat in military, there's certain combat roles that I would trust a man to protect us more so than probably a woman.
I'm 5'11". And look, I'm not like a huge, like...
Yeah, I don't think he brought up any of the subjects that we talk about. Like, let's say when somebody who's 180 pounds wearing 60 pounds of gear, like a woman's not going to be able to carry you out.
No.
So, I mean, he just, like, I don't know, they cut it out on purpose, but, there's certain things that he was unable to bring up.
I'm not 200 pounds, so like I don't know if I'm physically strong, like as strong as like a 6 or 5'11" guy.
Definitely
but there
not.
are women that I know who are,
No.
and they might be the exception.
Yes.
But if they are physically able to meet the job standards, I think.
And meet them
Now,
consistently.
I'm not a military person, so maybe this is my ignorance speaking, but ideologically, I say they should be allowed to be in those job categories if they meet the standards.
Also, to highlight some stuff.
Well, let me point this out. Men, on average, are very thing-oriented. Women are very people-oriented. So that in itself, I think, separates the two.
Yeah, right now I'm bringing up the double standards basically. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through all of this, but male push up when the APFT was the standard. And here you go. I think,
So the yellow columns are by age.
yeah, they're by age.
Yeah.
And these are the points that you get, and this is how many repetitions you have to do. And I remember you had to do at least 40. Well, depending on what age, you had to get 60 to pass, and that's like the bare minimum.
Okay.
All right, so for a male between 17 to 21, you had to do 42 to pass. Now, compare that
42
to a
to
female.
pass, and you get 60 towards your score.
Yeah. And same thing. The amount of push-ups, age brackets, and points in order to pass for a female between 17 and 21 is
Less than half.
19, bro. So obviously there's already a double standard here.
Yeah.
She's
Honor, I
talking
have
like
a brother-in-law who goes on snowmobiles, and sometimes he has to go rescue people like in an avalanche or whatever, and he has to be able to lift 250 pounds, and while he's
I weigh
dragging it out while he's
285,
getting the
so
snowmobile.
try saving
and
me.
I personally don't know a ton of women, if any, that can do the same jobs. I'm sure there are. I know there are. But that job was, to answer the question, meant for men. Because there's certain things
Absolutely.
that only men for the most part can do. And I feel the same way on the other side as women. Like, there's certain jobs that I think that women just do way better because of their natural instinct.
I have also had 4 brothers who are police officers, and the problem is that we don't use the same metric. It's not the same. They don't do the push-ups the same. They don't
We
have
just
the same
brought that
amount.
up.
This is funny because I wanted to post like how female police officers are dangerous. and how they just started
Yeah, that lady that shot the guy as she's grabbing her taser.
It
She's
just
like,
popped up
that's
in my freaking
gun."
head as he mentioned that.
My
Oh,
point is
no,
like if the
he's
metrics
dead.
were absolutely equal and the same person, everybody could bench press 200 pounds and everybody can do all that, I have no problem with that. But why I'm standing here is the metrics aren't the same.
Right, but let's challenge
So
that.
if they
To
were-
be a female officer
Okay, he brought up bench press. I would say 60% of men could probably do 200 pounds bench press. Maybe 20% of women could do that. I go to the gym all the time. I see men bench. I see women bench.
Yeah, it's
There's no way. You're talking about the extreme exceptions when
Yeah.
you're talking about women that can bench press. Okay, so it's one thing to go in and one day of your week of workouts, you bench press 200. Okay, but can you bench press 200 every day consistently?
probably not.
No. The answer is no.
Yep.
And I think that's where these guys are falling short, is where they're like, okay, obviously there are some women that may be capable, but those are the exceptions. But the element that negates all of these women is the consistency. Like the avalanche guy. Can that guy pull out a 200-pound man every single day of the week? He does.
Yeah.
But can a woman do that?
Depends on the time of day, right?
Exactly. And it depends on their mood and how they're feeling.
Yeah, definitely. And we're not even talking about like the feelings that female get into and how that may affect their work or not. I mean, it affects men too, but they just work at a different level.
Men are good at like compressing their emotions, being able to put it aside and focus on the task.
Yes.
Men are task oriented.
Yes, we are.
Thing oriented. Women are people oriented. So yes, they're more in tune with their emotions. Their emotions help them relate to other people, which is not a bad thing. But those two things are opposites.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
you can't be good at both. You just can't.
Yeah.
It's a continuum. You're either on one side, the other, or the middle.
Yeah.
I still fundamentally agree with what we've been talking about. Like, I think that women shouldn't, or men shouldn't be excluded from whole categories of jobs.
Totally agree.
But when I was thinking about the question, are there certain jobs that were created for one gender that only really allow one gender to thrive in that job? Absolutely.
Okay, perfect example for women of jobs that were created for them and not for men. Like at home birth. A midwife.
Oh yeah.
That is not a man's job.
That is absolutely not a man's job. I mean, I think it'd be shunned upon as well.
I mean, could a man do it? Yes.
Yeah, but it'd be weird.
But it's in the title, midwife.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got to go to work at the midwife place today. Watch all your friends laugh at you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gender roles have no place in the workplace. In or out in 3, 2.
It'd be better if, as a company, they were like, hey, we're all going to try and recognize when someone's thirsty. And you're not always
100%,
leaving it to the
100%.
woman to do the mental load
100%.
of like keeping track of everything at home and then all of the men in the boardroom. That's not her job.
If gender roles are completely taken out, then it's not gonna just be a room of one side speaking to one side.
Those roles were there, like they were there traditionally. It had a place.
I think what he's getting at is like we should they're talking about the water. If everyone's thirsty, someone should go get the water. Sure, but like if there are women in that boardroom saying, "I'm not gonna go get the water because I'm not his maid." Okay, but if you're all sitting at a boardroom table, you're all part of the same team, so don't you want to see the other people at the team get what they need to succeed?
Yeah, that's just the team player aspect of it. But I mean, how I was looking at this is like kind of weird because they're just using one example, the boardroom, right? But like when you go get hired at a job, you're getting a job role, you know, like, hey,
Yes.
these are your jobs.
Yes.
This is your job title, and this is what you have to do. So like, this is kind of weird.
I just think the idea of thinking of gender roles in the workplace is unnecessarily segregating people.
Yeah.
When we should all be members of a team.
Yeah, exactly. Because you all want to succeed.
Yeah.
And you're all looking out for each other. So
Exactly.
It's just kind of weird how you would use gender roles at a workplace.
Yeah.
Because it's about the company. When you're working for them, you're getting paid. You
Yes.
know?
It's about the task at hand.
Yeah, exactly.
And what helps us achieve that task.
I
and
agree.
most of the time, it's teamwork and collaboration.
Yes.
I wouldn't pick somebody that they're a better note taker because they're a woman. I'm saying there's a reason why 99% of kindergarten teachers are women. Men aren't good at it.
I don't want
Yes,
to eradicate
correct.
gender or femininity, but like if we're talking about like the 1950s traditional roles, yeah, gross. I don't want to be seen as the person who does the thing because I walk in and look a certain way.
I don't think a lot of modern
really
men
push
think that
against
way,
this
though.
idea
That's the
of, like,
problem.
a
They
certain
keep
role
talking
should
about
be
the
with a
the
certain-
1950 standard, but this isn't 1950 anymore. You and I are not used to being waited on by women. We know that if we're thirsty, we're gonna get up and go get a drink.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I did experience that.
I mean,
And it's very much like that with my mom. And when I go to Vietnam, it's like that.
true. Maybe other cultures, but like, I don't know. I feel like most men are used to just like, well, if I'm
Like doing your
hungry,
own
I'm
shit,
gonna
yeah.
go make something to eat.
Yeah.
If my wife's gonna make it, sweet, I'll eat it. But like, if she didn't, I'll just make it. It's fine.
Yeah, we also got to understand there's like also like a loneliness pandemic. And I think it's due to social media. A lot of people are not going out anymore. I heard from somebody like, maybe it was from Tim Pool, but he said during 4th of July, he went out and like nobody
he's
was
talking
outside.
about no one playing baseball or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, it is absolutely a different time, but it's due to technology as well. I think it
Yeah.
plays a small factor.
Yeah. People who were naturally isolated in the time before the internet now are present on the internet, but they're lonely on the internet.
Yeah. That's why I kind of feel lucky because I got to experience all of that, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a generational thing. Those of us that didn't grow up with the internet as a primary thing in our lives,
Yeah.
we think about the world differently.
Yeah, we do.
The internet is a separate place. We live in reality, and the internet supplements what we do
Yeah.
and helps us. But our whole life is not consistent of the internet.
No, absolutely not.
My ability to like get paid like for the same amount of work, there seemed to be this like ability for a man at any point to come and ask for more money on the table or to go get another job, that was okay. But if I came and asked for more money on the table or did that, there was sort of like, are you not happy with what you already have?
I remember a moment.
The gender wage gap is a myth.
I think it is.
It's all skills based. She's talking about men that got more money because they asked for it. She didn't get that because she asked for it. Okay, what is the performance of these employees? Does the man bring in more money for the company?
Yeah.
Probably. There's probably something outside of just
The gender.
is it a man or
Yeah,
woman
it's
that impacts what they bring home.
yeah, I think it has to do with the credentials. I think females graduate college at a higher rate than males
Yes.
do. I think they bring in most of the bread now versus guys.
Yes.
And the only thing I could think about as well right now on the top of my head between the differences between male and female is that a male would actually go ask for a raise versus a female who would be
Yes.
content. where
More
she's at.
assertive.
Yeah, men are basically more assertive.
But if you're the manager and you have 2 employees asking you for a raise, you only have so much you can give out. Who's getting the raise? The one who performs the best.
Yeah, meritocracy.
Yes. The one that brings more to the table.
Yep.
And there's no direct comparison where you're juxtaposing two individuals that are neck and neck in every category. The only thing separating them is their gender.
Yep.
That doesn't exist.
It does not. And it's also against the law.
Yes, it's called discrimination.
And also, if I was the manager and I had to give out a raise, I just split that raise 50-50. Boom.
That way nobody can complain.
There's no complaints.
Yes.
And I think there was a certain company that did that. Like everyone just across the board, you got 2.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone gets a small chunk instead of one person getting a bigger chunk. But there's the perception of fairness.
Yes.
See, at least we're being fair.
Also,
instead of rewarding the people that perform the best.
Yeah. There's definitely a fairness question to it. But like, if you do it that way, you wouldn't have to answer any other questions. You're just like, hey, this is the company policy. Everyone gets one.
Correct.
Same
every
range.
Company, no matter what kind, has some kind of performance metric. They know who their top performers are.
Yes.
They know who's making the company money.
Yep, that's very true.
They know.
Yep, they do know.
Whether their metrics are accurate or not it depends on the company and depends on what they're measuring.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that's their metric.
Yeah, and it also depends on the manager or whoever's watching.
Exactly. The perception of those metrics versus the performance.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, there's a market for everything. There's a market for the cost of labor. And that market is based on who does the work best.
Yep.
Not who deserves it the most because they're a man or woman.
Or feelings.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're a woman and you're the top performer, great, here's your bonus. If you're a man and you're the top performer, great, here's your bonus. If you need to do better, sorry, you don't get a bonus.
Yeah.
That should be your message. And that's the thing. People will not get what they asked for and then be like, well, it's a problem with the business. It's a problem with that manager. They have something against me. They have no ability to look at themselves in the mirror and say, well, maybe I didn't meet the standard. Maybe something happened that's outside of the typical what I'm asked to do.
Yeah,
That's
or just
how it
maybe ask your
yes,
the guy working next to you. I mean, he'll easily point
any
it out.
person with any kind of self-motivation will look at themselves in the mirror and say, what could I have done better? What can I improve on? Not how did they screw me over?
Yeah. But also corporations do want to screw you over.
Of course. That's the number one thing about capitalism. One of the ways to make more money is to control your costs. Simple.
Yep.
And labor is always the biggest cost for every company.
Basic economics, basically.
Exactly. But if you don't want to get your bonus cut, you better figure out a way to outperform everyone.
Oh, yeah. And if you got to cheat, don't cheat. Do the right thing.
Yeah. But some people go to those lengths.
Yeah.
And I mean, moral judgments aside, at the end of the day, it should be the numbers on the performance that matter.
Yeah. But we know there's also favoritism and all these other factors that play when you're working for a corporation. So
correct.
But whatever it is, put your head down, work hard, and be nice.
And if you get passed up on the bonus, look at yourself in the mirror.
Yes.
Think about how you can do better.
I agree.
And how you can make it more difficult for them to tell you no, even if it's unfair.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if you're here and everyone else is here, that's hard to argue with.
Yeah. So work hard, everybody.
I've been told a few times I'm in, marketing adjacent or sometimes marketing specific roles. And I've had people say we wouldn't hire someone that wasn't cute and didn't have a good smile for this role.
I have had to sort of like have the conversations. Hey, when I came in here and asked for this and
Come on, let's be honest. People
Okay.
hire based on their
Yes.
attractiveness.
But the world of marketing is different. It's all about image. So that makes sense. You want to project the notion that we look good because in marketing that matters.
Yeah, but I've heard stories where like hiring managers do it based on like attractiveness
Sure.
for both.
Sure.
So I'm just saying like that.
I mean,
that does play a factor, and it's
subliminally
true,
maybe,
yeah.
but on paper that's not a thing.
Yeah. See, on paper, like you could put anything down, try to get the job. You know what I'm saying?
True. But
how
that
you
being
perform
said-
after is like
that being said, you brought up favoritism and, this issue. These are all human flaws. So at the end of the day, the person that should be held accountable is those people that fall into that trap of I'm gonna use my own requirements that supersede what the company is asking for.
You know what that solution is?
See ya.
No, the solution is AI, bro. Like they're just start hiring everything through AI because then there's no human, human nature, flaws, and stuff like that we need to worry about. AI will just be specific on like these are the credentials we're looking for. Resumes must hold specific words, like they're already doing.
Yeah,
I even heard
and in
they're
that
doing-
way, you can tune the AI to exclude certain characteristics like
Yeah.
gender, like name,
Yes.
stuff like that. Like the book Freakonomics, that's an old book now, but they talk about how Matthew's gonna get the job over Jaquan because Matthew is
remember
easier to
that.
say and is more traditional.
Yeah, they also came out with their documentary that is really good. You guys should check it out.
Yeah,
Shout out.
that's a good book to read.
Yep. Read or watch.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. They also have a YouTube channel, which is pretty good too. I enjoy it. Men sacrifice a lot more time for work because they're trying to bring home the bread for their family. And I think
I don't know. It depends. Because if you live in a dual income household, then both are sacrificing. But there are plenty of instances in dual income households where, one partner makes more than the other. So much so that maybe the opposite partner doesn't have to work at all.
yeah.
So in that situation, men usually in married couples where only one works, the woman stays at home.
Yeah.
And in today's economy, a lot of times parents have to make the decision, okay, am I gonna go to work, have to send my kid to daycare and pay all this money per week for daycare, or do I just forego the income, pay zero for the childcare minus the supplies, and just do it myself? Some people opt for that, but at the end of the day, if you're talking about like single households, especially with children, everybody has to
Oh yeah,
sacrifice.
absolutely.
Everybody.
I think I was just talking about like time because men usually opt to do more overtime
Yes.
and they
Or
wanna make
they
that-
opt to pick up jobs where they work 12 hours
yeah,
and stuff like that.
that's what I'm saying. The sacrifice is usually
Yes.
the time.
Women
at work.
are not as likely to want to sacrifice as much,
Yeah,
I think.
Well,
But
they want to spend time with their family.
exactly. So are men expected to sacrifice more? Maybe because they're not traditionally they're not expected to provide as much at home. So
Yes.
they have to sacrifice more to go to work. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what we need to have the things at home that we need. So somebody's got to go out there and do it. and somebody's got to take care of the family.
Yeah.
So typically that line is, well, usually the 12-hour a day hard labor jobs pay more. So
Yeah.
who's going to do those, men or women? Most of the time it's men.
Yeah. I forgot to mention it. Are men expected? I was just thinking like, yeah, usually men sacrifice time for overtime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the question properly. Oops.
I just think biologically there are options and choices for women that are off the table that are on the table for men.
What I've
I think she brings up a good point, and why I would stand in the middle, because yes, women most of the time are primary home caretakers.
Yes, that's
So to have to give that up to go to work is more of a sacrifice than men just doing what's naturally expected of men. So yes, do like you're saying, men pick up more overtime to provide for the family. Yeah, sure. So they're sacrificing their time, but at the same time, women, if they're the primary caretaker, have to sacrifice all of that. And I think what she was getting at is similar to what I was saying. As a parent, after a certain age, you have to make that decision. Am I going to continue my career and then send my kid to daycare? Well, that's going to cost me money, so now I have to go to work. Or do I just say, well, save the cost of the childcare, stay at home, forego that income, but still relative to your net income at the end, they're similar. And for a lot of people, it comes down to, do I want other people raising my kids, or do I want to raise my kids? And I think what she's kind of like, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to automatically send my kids to daycare, so I have to go back to work. But she could have easily made the point, well, I could just stay home. And then at the same time, is she sacrificing more for work? Not work in the traditional sense of going in and hitting the time clock, but she is signing herself up, you know, in that instance where woman forgoes her career to stay home. Well, staying home and being a homemaker is still work too. So like, she's sacrificing her career for working at home, basically.
Yeah,
So it's still a sacrifice at the end of the day.
I agree.
Yeah. So I would stand in the middle.
It's either you're in or you're out.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I think I'd be out,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of people don't realize how much of a sacrifice of your free time and your family time it is to go to work just the normal hours you're expected.
Yeah, I had to make some sacrifices too. I had to choose whether,
Yes.
you know, I wanted to work and make money or watch, you know, my baby grow up.
Exactly.
So, and I
Exactly.
definitely-
Everyone has to make that sacrifice, and especially when you become a parent, that sacrifice is even greater.
Yeah, and-
Because you're sacrificing time with your family.
Yeah. And the main thing is like, you just have to discuss this with your partner or your wife, your husband, about like where you can help out at.
Exactly.
And depending on
where you
who
can
makes
help
more as
out
well.
with, but where's your head at too?
Yeah.
Like I said, she's not asking the question of, do I want someone else raising my kids versus myself? That's probably a good question to ask
That
your
is
partner.
a very good question to ask.
Do you care about that?
Yeah.
Because some people care a lot about that,
Yeah.
especially in today's world, with a
Oh,
lot more
yeah.
parents choosing to homeschool their kids, choosing to kind of opt out of the stereotypical, like, take them to school, take them to daycare.
Yeah. and
It's a
there's lot of
decision you have to
crazy-
make, and it's based on your principles.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never been a single parent, so I can't speak to that, but that's probably the only thing that I could imagine being harder than a working mom is being a working single mom. Men have to sacrifice at work longer, I think is what I've seen. Women have to sacrifice In some cases, their career.
I've avoided being
Exactly.
alone with the
Yeah, I think it is very different because my mom was a single mom and she just had to do a lot of overtime. You know,
Yeah.
she was hustling. She had
Yeah.
me to take care of and like her family.
Yeah.
And like,
colleague of the opposite gender for fear of harassment or accusation. In or out in 3, 2, 1.
This is exactly like that question. Would you rather be left alone with in the woods with a man or a bear?
oh yeah, you're right.
And the women that say a bear, that they're gonna answer in.
Hey, but this is a serious question.
Yeah. I think for women, for them it's like, do I want to feel uncomfortable? And for men, it's like, do I want to be accused wrongfully?
Yeah.
Because
true.
you just look at a woman the wrong way. Oh, he looked at me. He looked down my shirt.
Yep.
And you're like, bro, I have eyeballs.
HR,
I'm
you
sorry.
go.
Like, yeah, it wasn't intentional. So
Yeah.
it's like they're gonna be in and out for different reasons for sure.
Yeah, I agree. But
And I think that's gonna, like, the men and women are gonna separate on this topic again.
If I'm in a room, one-on-one, with a woman, and some type of accusation is made, or even if I have to make an accusation, as a black man, forget about it. That terrifies me. It's terrifying.
Can I ask a question?
Simple. You get a third person to witness.
Yep.
There you go. Problem solved,
Yeah.
buddy.
You know, I haven't had any experiences where I felt necessarily unsafe. I think it's a generational thing. I think probably all, if not most of our parents come from a generation that says like men should never be alone in a car with a woman or in a room with a woman alone. And so that has kind of crept into my mind. And I've definitely been in situations where with certain women where I thought,
I think what blown this shit up so much was because of the hashtag Me Too movement. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, I think after that situation, I was like, oh shit, I better really watch out what I say. And
Yeah.
I gotta really pay attention to who my audience is before I start like just clowning around and stuff like that at work, which I love to do. You know, I just want a fun working environment. And, you know, some of my jokes are pretty dark, but I don't mean nothing by it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, absolutely. I do kind of agree that I don't fear. I just kind of like stray away because I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, I think there's
any accusations.
I think there's a difference between being fearful and knowing your audience.
Yeah. And I also don't want to deal with the drama.
Yeah.
Like you having to go in and, you know, no, this is what I said, blah, blah, blah. And you got to get witnesses. And it's just like a headache. So first of all, I always observe, you know, who are my audience, who has thick skin, who doesn't get offended.
Yes.
And then from there.
But that's not out of fear.
No, that's absolutely not out of fear because just, you know.
That's just gauging the room.
Yeah. And then from there out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely try to avoid, you know, any, you know, accusations because I just don't want to deal with the aftermath because then you know, there's going to be rumors around the companies that you got to worry about. And it's just, it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's like getting yourself stressed for no reason too.
Yeah.
like I hope I can joke around and not with anything crude or anything, but just there's certain things that maybe I've said that I thought, oh, I hope she didn't take that the wrong way.
I kind of wonder on a gender issue, like we've danced around this topic, but there's like these two sides. There's a side of like, are you avoiding being with somebody because you think that you're going to be seen as the perpetrator, or you avoid being in a situation with somebody because you think that you're going to be the victim?
You got a lot of movement.
And that is two sides of an interesting coin in a situation.
She's
that's not
easily
the same.
influenced.
I stepped into that circle because I didn't
well, this lady
have
though,
anything
she keeps
that came to
flip flopping
mind.
because she's easily
And
influenced.
I think that I have one experience that came to mind where I was like, oh, I
Yeah,
guess
because
I
it
technically
has to
am
do
in this
with,
group. I was a
But
temp worker.
she's
I
being
was doing
open-minded, which
Yeah.
is
stuff
good.
in the summers.
She's at least
and,
listening.
Got a lot of anxiety about going back to a temporary position because there was a guy in the office that just was leering at me all the time.
When she says leer, I think of Pokemon. Pikachu, use leer.
Or maybe maybe he's just you know, kind of ill in the head, you know, some slow people, they just kind of like stare. Like, you don't know his situation. You just can't be like.
I think it's kind of twofold. Some men do have a problem with that, and it's kind of unconscious.
Yeah.
However, you need to be conscious of those things.
But she wouldn't be somebody I would be.
I mean, but that's not to say for everyone. I mean, maybe some guy sees her in the office and thinks that's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. But like, that's where you take your experience in and say, okay, this isn't the appropriate place for that. So I'm just going to look at my computer screen.
You could just ask him.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then just fucking cut that shit off immediately.
And
like,
I think
hey,
that's another thing.
Hey, how's it going? Like,
people with this question, it's like, are you fearful, anticipating that this may happen, or are you fearful because this has happened to you before?
Yeah.
And if you're fearful at the anticipation, that's not fair because you're not reacting to the feedback everyone's giving you.
Right.
You're being delusional.
Yeah.
And you're letting that rule your decision making. Yeah. And it's obviously, if you're fearful of harassment or accusation, you're going to act differently.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like, are you reacting to something that's happened, or are you like putting up your wall so that something doesn't happen? Are you being proactive or reactive?
Yeah.
And being proactive in this case, I don't think helps anything.
Yeah. I mean, usually I just go ask, you know?
That's like the question of, would you rather be left in the woods with a man or a bear? Well, how many times have you ever been in the woods with a bear?
Never.
And that's why all those women said they'd be left in the woods with a bear, because they don't know what it's like to be in the woods alone with a bear.
I don't think I mean, a lot of the women haven't watched, what is that guy's name? The Grizzly Man?
Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Drinks his own piss. Yeah.
And he dies because he thinks he can talk to them and shit.
Oh, yeah. You might be talking about something else.
Yeah,
but
there's an actual dude who did a documentary, like he would chill with the bears and shit like that.
Oh, and he was like a zoologist guy, right?
No, he wasn't even a zoologist. He was just like this hippie dude. And what happened was he went back when they warned him, like, the bears are eating right now. They're getting ready to hibernate.
Yeah. And
they have a video camera recording at night, but you couldn't see anything, and he was getting mauled, like him and his girlfriend. Yeah. So it's pretty.
Because that bear's like, you ain't getting in the way between me and my food.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. I will kill you.
Absolutely. I'm trying to freaking fatten up, get ready for this hibernation.
Shreds. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway, like they ended up finding that bear, and they had to open him up, and dude, it's pretty gruesome.
There was the dude's necklace in its gut.
It's gruesome. Yeah, but as far as her situation goes, like, sometimes you could just ask them, you know, like, hey, how's everything going? You all right? Like, looking over.
Or just like, okay, he's looking at me.
Yeah, so there's,
you don't
like,
know what he's thinking.
Yeah, there's like solutions to this. Like, you can approach the situation yourself and kind of stop it. Or you could approach your coworkers or the manager and be like, hey, I don't feel comfortable. Can you talk to him?
Yes.
Or approach him with the manager and just be like, you know, I just wanted to tell you this. Like, and nobody gets in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't need to blow it up like this.
This is what I mean about being proactive or reactive.
Yeah. And usually at work, I just approach them. Like, if somebody's staring me down and stuff, I just be like, hey, what's up? Everything okay?
How's it going today?
Can I help you with something? But like, you know, you give them that eye to eye, you know, and right away they'll just tell you, oh, you just remind me about somebody. Oh, really? You know, like, you know, stuff like that happens, man. Like,
so I've received it on the male side, and the female side. The willingness to actually make a complaint
The earrings, bro.
or file it
It's the earrings, bro.
seems like it was easier
It's a signal
to
that
do
you're gay.
on the male side than when it happened on the female side. And when it happened on the female side, there was a witness, and that person just turned their cheek, and I couldn't say a thing.
Yeah,
I don't
because
want to be
you'd be
labeled
scrutinized as a man
as
going
someone
in
either.
and saying
And if I
something
make
like that.
complaint,
Yeah.
We're finally
The
done.
dude with the earrings was.
Men have to sacrifice at work.
So, what do you think of the video?
I don't know. I don't know why that lady's shirt was tucked in the whole time. That looked weird.
Yeah, that was tripping me out too.
But I don't know. It seemed like there was only a few people who were willing to listen to the other side and then change their mind, which is a good and bad thing, because sure, you're not set in your belief and you're willing to be influenced by other people and their experience, but shows that they're a little bit more open-minded and willing to change their mind. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I think if you were to just get a verbal description of what this video was and see the prompts, I'm sure you'd be able to predict what they choose.
Yeah.
If you knew a little bit about them.
Yeah.
Or what at least what they did for work.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good video.
Yeah. It was a good one, but I don't think it uncovered anything that those of us that work in the workplace don't already know.
Yeah. I just thought it was a fun video.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
See you later.
Don't forget to subscribe, like. It doesn't cost you anything.
Smash that like button. Let's go.
We're out.
Peace, we out.